So, this is what seems to be the final chapter in the Mandy Rose Sonya Deville story arc, from what I can tell. And I'm going to give my breakdown of their match at SummerSlam. It's unfortunate the recent real life events that have happened. And it's also unfortunate that in the pro wrestling world that these women did not get more matches as we've built up to this. So I have taken some screenshots so I can kind of do a very thorough breakdown from my perspective, because this match to me proved some things that I had sitting in the back of my head for the past year or so. So we start with Sonya Deville and her entrance. And I've always liked the new look with the coat. And as I stated last week, if they did do the hair versus hair match, as much as I was opposed to it, with this coat and her shaved head, excellent, especially if they make more coats like that in different, designs. I think it would have been awesome. When Sonya makes her way into the ring, she's been doing this like every match since she became heel. I don't know why. She puts her finger in her mouth and runs her hands through her hair. She looks like a female in heat. I wish that she would stop, but every time she does it, her face always seems like it's sweating. Mandy Rose also debuts a new look, and I had some story ideas. One in particular I'm not going to name, that's been sitting in the back of my head for like a year now. And I guess it's an odd coincidence that this outfit kind of plays into it, minus the jacket. If they added a couple of more pieces with the concept that I had, it would be perfect. But, you probably could care less about that. Anyhow, I like the hair being combed back. As I was watching this match, I was also listening to the watch along, and Renee Young said something that I thought was rather funny. She said, anytime you see a woman with her hair combed back like that, she basically means business. And normally, the previous incarnation of Rose, she would pose at the bottom of the ring and slide in and then touch the rope and pose again. If you look at her face when she is looking directly into the camera with that new look, it's like, I'm all business. Let's go. Next level stuff. Now, one of the reasons the top reason that I liked this match is because after doing all this intense study, with these different episodes, and then watching them for past year and a half or more, whatever, I started seeing a trend, as I do with a majority of the talent, where they do the same moves every time they have a match on television. And from watching Total Divas, I realized that you are allowed a certain amount of time to have your match, as you may or may not know. And they have to, either they're going to rehearse it or they're going to be backstage and they're going to kind of map it out. And they have their standard operating move sets that they do. This match, unfortunately, that it had to be against one another, allowed me to see that they are capable of doing more if given the opportunity. So seeing Mandy suplex Sonya on the metal grate, I guess that they call it, I thought was awesome. And then there's a look on her face after she does the suplex. I don't think I've ever seen that look on her face prior to this feud. It's looking like pissed off for greatness. And if we had seen this quote unquote Fire and Desire doing their title, chase, but then again, it's not in our hands. Again, seeing her getting on top of the announcer's table and doing the flying clothesline, something I can say that I've never seen her do in any match. Now, this is not to say, because I'm not at the house shows, and when they were touring, I don't go to live events. So if anyone else listening to this has seen it, feel free to put in the comment box. I've never seen this. So this just makes me enjoy this a little bit more. And of course, seeing her set the tables up, although it didn't go in that direction, just the build up. Once again, I'm sorry, I keep saying this, seeing them both do stuff I've never seen them do. So it was just the giddiness, like, oh, she's getting the tables. Like, all right, what are we about to see here? Her not being able to get the table up. I've seen that before. I've seen the people kind of botch up tables, and I've seen them botch up ladders. So, I'm not harping on that too much. It's once again, it's me seeing her do something different. Then seeing her get attacked when Sonya comes out with that chair. I'm being serious. Even when they were Absolution coming out with Paige, I've never seen such ferociousness coming from Sonya. And this is all speaking, pre their feud. Like, imagine they got tables and ladders and chairs out when they jumped on Charlotte and Becky on their debut. I'm sure it's too much too soon. They had to do a slow build up, but it is what it is. Seeing Sonya put Mandy in this chokehold, or priming her for a submission lock. I'd never seen her do this move before. You're hearing me say the same things, but it's an exploration of what I always thought. Like, man, if given the opportunity, I wonder what else what are they really capable of doing? What do they have? And look, now imagine seeing this match on SmackDown. We're talking, let's just go back to June, right? And then still no pay-per-view event. And then you see another match every other week or every 2 weeks or even once a month, right? They had a match in June, a match in July, and then they have some words, or she gets her hair cut, and we get into that storyline, and then we finally get to this pay-per-view. So now they've ironed out all the little kinks, heard the little slide comments that people were making, if they even pay attention to that, or just their peers telling them, hey, this didn't look as sharp, that didn't look as sharp. Now they really get a chance to sharpen that. So when we get this pay-per-view, it's 20 times better. So watching Sonya do this groundwork and utilizing some of her MMA tutelage and inserting that, you didn't really get a chance to see that. I seen her doing a lot of sliding, a lot of punching. Anyhow, yeah, I know that they could do more. I would really be interested in seeing Sonya get into a feud with Naomi. And I know that there's been a lot of talk about Naomi not getting a push. Something like this, putting her in the ring with someone that she really hasn't rock and rolled with, could really make a difference as far as character building and building her as a major heel in the company. I also loved how she made that transition into the arm lock. I mean, once again, it's just more and more movesets that I'm just like, wow, like what else is in the tank? And I think I mentioned this in a prior episode. I cannot tell you which one. Sometimes when you have all these skills and you don't get the chance to use them, it can retard. You can forget that you have them. And then you have to kind of retrain and go, all right, what's in the arsenal? Oh yeah, I forgot that I could do these moves, because every time we go out, I do X, 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 Y, 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 boom, 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 match is over. Every single week, every time we're on tour, every house show. So, yeah, seeing Mandy lift Sonya and put her on the table, it reminds me of course, how strong she is. And I believe that she can squat like 300 pounds. And this was a while ago, so it might be up a little bit more, it just brings thoughts to me when I'm watching them lose to Bliss and Cross. It just, on physically, it doesn't make any sense, And prior to me starting this, I watched Alexa Bliss versus Bailey kendo stick match, and Alexa Bliss versus Sasha for the Raw Women's title, and the three-way dance that happened 2 years ago. Funny because both of these matches, the Sasha match and the three-way dance, they were at SummerSlams. That match was Becky Lynch when she popped Charlotte. Becky, Charlotte, and Carmella. And the reason why I'm bringing that up, well, first let me finish off my thought with her lifting Sonya and putting her on the table, and then just these two, watching them having to take L's. I know this is predetermined and it's Shakespeare in this theater, but if we can make this more realistic, then it's like having Alexa Bliss have a match with Nia Jax or Big Show, right? We're going to do an intergender match with you and Big Show, and the finishing move is you're going to go, Alexa, you're going to jump off the top rope with a flying drop kick. It's going to cause Big Show to fall over, and then you're going to go for the pin. Now, if you just envision that in your mind, how real does that sound? To me, it's about as real as watching Bliss Cross defeating Fire and Desire for weeks on end, but it's not my company. I love the setup once again of the tables for us to later on see Mandy sliding those chairs. What I admire more than anything is the precision that it took for these two to get this down, because one wrong move and she could have gotten busted open. But side note, I want to go back to when Mandy first got the table out and she messed that up. Upon watch, because I've watched this match 3 times, right? On the third watch, I'm sitting here saying, I wonder if there was a time, because they kind of walk through the matches sometimes prior to, it's probably more than likely when they're having a big pay-per-view event, and I wonder if there was a moment where someone said, hey, do you want to go over getting the table out, or do you want me to show you how to lift the table? And she just said, no, I got it, and hence that botch. But that's just a thought that I had. Okay, so now, with everything that I've just rambled on about, watching this match let me just, I'm all over the place. Forgive me. This is the final chapter. At the end of the match, I thought it was funny when Sonya lost and the ref was basically getting her up and escorting her out. Just like, yeah, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here, toots. The only thing that I would have done is I would have had her be more upset and screaming at Mandy, like, I'm going to get you, this isn't over, or, something, just rather than just being in shock. Because let's just consider the character building of her really not liking her ex-best friend. To me, the way that she's playing it is really borderline on hatred as far as I'm concerned. But that's just a little thing. It's nothing to go, it's a horrible match because of that. Anyhow, I make my transition back to what I was saying about Alexa Bliss and Carmella. When I watch them in the ring, well, before I even say that, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, pretty good workers. When it comes to their characters, excellent. Alexa Bliss to me is the best female heel in WWE right now. Probably next to Asuka. If Asuka goes heel, and if whenever Io comes up, she's a way better heel than she is a face. I've said before, and I'll say right now, Carmella, you could put Carmella with a broom. Carmella will have you buying a shitload of brooms. To me, this is all my opinion, so you guys can be like, get that thing out of here. Keep in mind, I'm also coming from an artistic filmmaker's perspective. So I'm a promo guy. I'm a character guy. I love the in-ring stuff. I love for you to tell me the story in the ring as well, because that's very physical. But the lead up is what I'm looking for. And when I see Carmella do a lot of things on mic, it's on point. If you go back and watch that three-way dance from SummerSlam, she is goading that crowd and she has them in the palm of her hand. Good character building with those two. They really tapped into their characters. But in-ring performing as wrestlers, I think that Sonya and Mandy have them beat. And that's just my feeling of watching them do the same thing, but just knowing, and also seeing them do certain things in NXT. I remember saying, I think I said this before, I saw Sonya, she had a feud with Ruby Riott. It was so goddamn good. And I was like, they need to just roll this over into... So I knew then, I had hints of it. So like watching some of Mandy's matches in NXT, I saw her do certain things, certain holds and shit that I was like, wait a minute, I'm not, and I'm now keep in mind I'm catching up. So I saw all the Raw SmackDown matches first. Now I'm catching up on the NXT stuff. And I'm just like, yo, wait a minute, I never seen her do this. I never seen him do that. So that's what got my wheels and my fires turning and go like, wait a minute, I think these women are capable of doing so much more. We just haven't seen it. And that's why I enjoyed this match. With Sonya gone, again, it's, what are they going to do with Mandy? Who is she going to feud with next? If they're going to rush it, if they're going to take their time. And whoever she gets in the ring with, are we going to get a chance to see her do a variation of movesets that I know that she can do? Or is she going to be, brought down again and say, all right, you're wrestling Alexa Bliss or you're wrestling Nikki Cross, and it's going to be a small feud, but now we just need you to go back to doing the same moves again. I would like to believe that we are watching an elevation of both these women. I think that we probably won't see Sonya until Royal Rumble. That's my guess. We will, because we only have 4 more months, and for her to, make a smooth transition, and it will fly by so fast, and then like she'll pop up as like number 18 in the Royal Rumble, and everybody will be like, whoa. What I think would really be cool is if she decides to come back with a shaved head and it's like on some effort, because then the promos would just be next level, because once you see her with the shaved head, it's going to remind you of the past, and all she has to do is feed into it. I know that these women are capable of doing more. It's just about what the Vince Network is going to allow them to do. I feel that I believe that we're definitely going to see more skill sets from Sonya Deville because she's a heel. So I don't know, if they're going to just stick Mandy with Otis, or I don't know. I can only hope for the best. I enjoyed the match. I don't know about everyone else. I can speak on some of the cons really fast. The only con that I saw is just my opinion was Mandy messing up the table. I'm sure there are those that can, knock every single majority of the thing, whatever, that's on you. The reason the table is because afterthought, I realized that as a artist, as a filmmaker, those few seconds can be very crucial. I know that when I'm in post-production, sometimes I've realized that, anywhere from 3 to 5 to 7 seconds of screen time can reveal a lot. And when she couldn't get that table up, that could have meant one one less move that we did not see because they were under a time constraint to get in what they needed to get in. And, because they're professionals, something got trimmed down. It's just a possibility. Other than that, listening to, one of the other pundits, they actually do annoy the hell out of me, but I'm not going to say who it is, but they were critiquing the match, and they made mention that, one, Mandy's punches didn't seem to be hitting the mark, basically, is what they're saying. And this is what made me go back and rewatch the match. So, when I rewatched the match, and this is where the artistic filmmaker side of me comes out, I realized, and you can go back and go watch it as well, is that a majority of the time when Mandy was punching Sonya, be it camera A or camera B, but the camera shots that we saw, they were behind Mandy. So you really couldn't see the punches. There would be times where the camera would cut to the second camera, the B camera, and it would be for a split second, it would cut back to the A camera. You can go back and watch it for yourself. So I'm not really understanding that critique. It kind of sounds like it's, something more that they're probably not admitting to, that they probably just don't dig her or whatever. It is what it is. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. That is kind of a lame excuse. Now, I would be straight up and honest if I looked at it and I go, okay, yeah, because that's what made me watch the third time. I would sit back and go, all right, yeah, I could see what they're talking about. But I think that's a little too much. Sounds a little personal or whatever. And they said that after this match, they felt as if Mandy could not beat Sonya in a match. But the very same people I did not hear say a word when they were teaming up against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. You can believe that those two can beat them up, but anyway, yeah, it is what it is. Now, if you were talking about Sasha Banks, with Bayley tag teaming, and then let's say that comment was made, okay, yeah, you might see a difference, but they're not getting those opportunities. It is what it is. But it reminds me of when I would from time to time read film reviews, and you could tell that the film reviewer is taking on a personal, issue with the actual actor in the film. So let's say, for example, Vin Diesel, I just threw that name out there, likes Trump. But the reviewer is not a Trump supporter. So now in the critique, you will see little hints. This Trump supporter, this, that, and the third. And although Vin Diesel is a Trump supporter, and then they will somehow make the film representative of Republican or Democrat or independent or whatever, and it has nothing to do with the film. So that's kind of what that review sounds like to me. Once again, I issue the challenge. Anyone go back and look. And I'm not, putting the cape on for them. I actually sat and I looked, and I rewound and I sat and I looked. Not every time, but minus the time when the match first starts and she tosses her. I mean, that opening shot was a good, clean catch. She clocked Sonya, but then when she throws her out the ring and they go outside the ring, there's like maybe two shots where the camera is right there, but when they're on the ground, the camera's over her shoulder. You take a look for yourself. So I'm going to end it on that. That's the cons. I enjoyed it. Like I said, we probably may not see Deville until Royal Rumble. And I also want to say that I like what she did. If anyone saw her post-interview that she did. She did a move that I've never seen anyone do. I've never seen a heel do during her interview. She left the cliffhanger.
Sonya, tonight you lost against Mandy Rose, and now you have to leave WWE. What's going through your mind? Like, what's next? Like, what's going on?
Do not call me that ever again.
You know what? It's something that just popped in my head. I watched Mandy Rose have a goddamn good match. This is freaking, 2 years ago. Have a really good match with Asuka. So, WTF, what they're talking about, man. Whatever. Anyhow, this concludes this chapter in this feud, I guess, as I stated. I think this was a bookend. You know, would I have liked more? Of course, you've heard me comment on that. It would have been a nice build up, but it is what it is. And I'm not even sure if the pandemic would have had anything to do with it. It's just how the Vince Network runs their ish, and it just is what it is. A 9-month build up to get basically 2 individual solo matches between these 2 women. It is what it is. But maybe they will pick this up upon her return, because she did say that she was going to ruin her life. But we shall see. I would like to thank you all for riding with me on this journey as I chronicled this story arc from the beginning to the end. And we'll see. Thank you for your time, for your listening pleasure. I hope this was informative as I broke down some of the flaws and some of the things that I wanted to see. So onward and upward, hopefully for both of these women. And look for more of my wrestling reviews. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to keep rocking with WWE, because I said to myself that after the storyline was over, I was going to kind of give WWE a break. Once I got enthralled in this, I just wanted to see the completion. There were many times where I just wanted to just bounce, because I'm just fed up of their shenanigans. And I think I know why they run their organization how they run their organization. So, I'll leave it at that. It's not my business. Thank you so much for your time and for taking this journey with me. I'm out.